Blue Glove Features here. I just wanted to let you guys know that there was an issue with my sound, so I'm gonna be post-recording my voiceover and try and match up to the answers to my questions that I made when we filmed this episode. So when you see that my lips don't match up to my words, this is why, because this vocal recording is done post the video. Thank you, hope you enjoyed the episode, and thank you for your support.
Hello, I'm back. Welcome to BAA Bel Art Attractions Funday Sunday with me, your host Nella, and
Buena, and our lovely director, Blue Gloves.
I missed you all. Hello.
We missed you too, Nella. I mean, I've been telling everyone it's kind of turned into the Buena show, so I'm going to be taking a little step back today, not too much, but just enough for you all not to be bored of my voice. So, Nella, please continue.
Never ever be bored of your voice. Anyway, Funday Sunday, I'm really excited to be here because it's our conversation of the week. It's where we tackle a topic that's on our minds. It's where we ask you to please get in on the conversation, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, share, comment, slap the bell.
And as usual, if you have any events that you'd like us to talk about, or we've missed something, please email us at belartattractions@gmail.com or belgradeartnews@gmail.com. Now, so before we get into our conversation, we've got a couple of new events to whet your arty appetite for next week, well, for the week that's coming. Stay tuned to continue hearing our soothing voices. On to you, Nella.
Oh gosh, you're so calm. I'm just so like a jackrabbit. I'm so excited to be here.
We're just a bit nervous today.
Anyway, the first event, it's not really an event, it's more of a workshop, and it sounds really good if you're into the more musical side of life. We really want to call your attention to the XVI, or 16 in non-Roman. XVI, or 16 in non-Roman, Belgrade Baroque Academy workshop, which will cover the theme of early 17th century German music with international experts. It's sort of my kind of thing, and yeah, it's a good prelude to our discussion. Anyway, the workshop will be held from Monday, January 25th until Sunday, the 31st of January at the Belgrade Baroque Academy on Studentski 5. There are two sets of times. So the first is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the second is 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So what's going to happen at these workshops is there'll be some singing workshops and some instrumental workshops, which will all lead to a concert on the final day, that's Sunday the 31st of January. So for more information about this and for the full lineup, please check the link below. Registration fee is €150 for active participants and €30 for passive participants, aka the audience. You can also book your place by filling out a form on their site, belgradebaroqueacademy.com. It's also detailed in the information part of this video.
Sounds really great, Nella. I mean, it sounds like you could be really immersive in that if you want it. If you're a musician or a vocalist, and you're into the whole Baroque period, which my little brother, as some of you may not know, is an opera singer, and his favorite classical music direction is Baroque. And we always do that old joke, if it ain't Baroque, don't fix it. I had to throw that in somewhere, I'm sorry. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but yeah. Anyway, but I like that there's also, that there is two different ways that you can experience it. You can either be immersive, or you can be part of the audience and then actually see Yeah, exactly. And then see the fruits of all the labor, the workshop at the end. So I think that's a really, really cool event. So thanks for telling us about that, Nella. Now moving on to the next one, it's a little bit of a tongue twister for us. We want to mention, this is actually a project called Embodiment, Otelotvorenje. Never heard of that word before, but it's incarnation, as Google Translate has shown us. It's a project by the Institute for Artistic Dance, which is going to be shown at the Museum of the City of Belgrade, Muzej Grada Beograda, on Resavska 40B from Tuesday, 26th January to Thursday, the 28th. And the grand opening is obviously on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Here you can view the works of the undergraduates, the masters and doctoral students of the Institute for Artistic Dance, so creativity galore, which will be presented in the forms of photographs, videos, works, installations, performances, as well as live choreographies. Exciting! Love the dancing. So if you're interested in that, check out the link below. And now we've got our little big events out of the way. Let's move on to our Funday Sunday discussion. Now, everyone likes music, right? Everyone's got their favorite genre and, really into a certain thing. But what about those people that don't like music? And I don't know if you've ever met anybody that doesn't like music, and we've got one in our vicinity. Our director, Blue Gloves, she's just not into music so much. So this is a really cool question. Why do certain people like Blue Gloves not like music? And why do others love it? Shoot.
Well, it's not that I don't like music, it's just I don't go out of my way to search for music. I kind of just listen to the radio and just follow popular music that's easy to find. I'm not one of those people that go down to like Basement and look for those obscure old school indie before indie was music. I just listen to what's there. That's what I mean when I say I don't like music.
Do you sort of not feel that you derive pleasure from music, or you don't mind it actually being in the background, but there's not like something where you go, oh, I love that song?
I do have certain songs that I do love, and I prefer music in the background sometimes when I'm not working. But again, it depends on my mood and what I'm going through in my life. Like, I used to listen to good solid Hold On when I was like in a dark place in my life, and that helped me through it. But I sometimes make an emotional connection to music, but it's not as common with as other people, like those ones that were like really into music. Like, music is your life. Music is fun, but it's not necessary in my life. I don't want to be without music, but again, I don't go out of my way to find music. Yeah, you're not obsessed. Not obsessed with anything. I mean, I have my own theories on it, and actually before we did start our session, I did look it up and I forgot to write it down. I'm so sorry. But there is a medical term for people that just do not connect emotionally to music at all. And I think that's really interesting. And then I think there's something about there not being a connection between 2 points in the brain that are for that. I won't lie and say what those points are. I mean, I have a fair idea, but some synaptic connection is not there. And I think that could be sort of a developmental thing. You're like, have you grown up in music? Do people, are people surrounding you sort of, indoctrinating you with it? And what I find also relatable to this are people that don't like food. They'll eat it,
you know, because they have to survive on it, but they don't actually derive pleasure from it, and they're not obsessed with what they eat. And I think maybe that's sort of a similar kind of type of thing to the people that don't like music.
I don't think I have that problem. I don't have that medical problem. I just don't I don't connect with music as much as other people should. Like, I'm more of a visual person than a musical person. I do like music. I do like it in movies and to listen to when I'm going on a walk and stuff, but it does spark emotion in me as well. But it's not like I said, if someone asks me what my favorite song is, I don't really have one because it changes too often. Like, I don't have a particular band, and I just say my favorite genre is like popular music because it's just easy to get to. I like music that's easy to get to, and that so happens to be popular music, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about you, Nilla? Do you know anyone that doesn't like music in the traditional sense that we know?
Look, I am very into, and you won't tell it by looking at me, but I'm very into metal and rock, and those are my genres. And when I was younger, I think I've seen close to 200 bands, like popular bands. I've globetrotted chasing them, groupie style. You know, gone to all the festivals, all of that, and yeah, and that was really, and that still really is my genre. And then when I moved to Dubai, because Dubai is so small and it's so mainstream, that music's not accessible over there, not in the way that I was used to it. So even though my friends enjoyed other genres as well, I still had some sort of commonality with them. Whereas when I moved to Dubai, I didn't really have anyone, I didn't have that in common with anyone. You know, and they all listened to mainstream, and it was going more R&B, more Rihanna, more Beyonce, all of that, which is nice. I mean, nothing against it. I used to go clubbing, but it didn't really tug at my heartstrings. And I think what I really enjoy about the genre of rock is that that it's, especially the old school stuff, is written by the person who sings it, and it's from sort of a personal experience. I like Taylor Swift for the same reason. It's just, however, you know, convoluted her stories are, they're still her stories, and you have to respect that. Whereas when you take Rihanna's work, it was written by 17 people, I think, you know, with the lyrics work.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, it's, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I think maybe I'm a bit of a snob or a purist, but since then I haven't also sought out music. I prefer to listen to podcasts, conversations, stories. If I hear any good song that I like, I'll remember it. I just got Spotify, haven't really listened to it.
How did you get Spotify?
I downloaded it.
Oh, is it available in Serbia?
Yeah, it just became available, I think, because I tried to download it. I think 2 months ago it wasn't available, and now it is. But I'm in very much the same boat as Nina. I don't like mainstream music.
No, the thing is, I do like mainstream music because it's easy to get to. I don't
exactly.
Like
I mean,
that's
like,
interesting because I'm actually the opposite of that. I'm very much ADHD when it comes to music. I will listen to anything and everything, and even work. I mean, I won't concentrate, you know, on the fact that the lyrics are really terrible. I mean, maybe that makes me sort of, you know, a bit of a sort of a music hoe, you know, in some ways, because I'm just sort of, you know, I'm listening to the beat and I'm thinking of myself dancing. I think it's because there's that dancing element in it that I like, and that's another experience of mine with music, is that it moves my body. I have a feeling that I have to move, and then when I listen to all these different types of music, different types of genres, it evokes different movements in me and different emotions. So I mean, I will get stuck in a rut sometimes with music, with my YouTube playlist kind of looks a bit samey sometimes. And then, you know, I'll remember something from 20 years ago and I'm like, you know, and then I'll be in a metal phase. Or the only thing that I'm not really that into and I'll get crucified for it, is Coldplay. Like, especially the early stuff. It's just like, for me, it's too melancholy and too.
I'm not a huge Coldplay fan, so don't worry, no crucifixion.
Mind you, they do have some songs that are a bit more uplifting, but it was just when they first came out, I just couldn't understand it. But then that's a question of taste, really. Everyone's got their own taste, which is fantastic. But going back to the actual theme about people not liking music, I actually know somebody that doesn't like music and doesn't listen to any particular one. And he's a really, really good friend of mine. But he will sort of, you know, he doesn't mind, for example, like music for purpose. You know, when it's there, for example, in movies or something, he won't sort of take that in. Or, you know, when we go to church and then, you know, choir singing and, you know, it's for the purpose of prayer, then it's fine. You know, then he I suppose he does enjoy that, but it's because there's a purpose to it. And then some people just don't find purpose outside of a particular theme, you know, yeah. So that's, I think it's a really, really interesting question. How do you experience music? And as we can see with the three of us, we all three of us experience it completely differently.
I have to, for example, make a conscious effort if I'm hosting people at my house to put some music on, because I'm completely comfortable in silence.
I'm like the same. Pavla says that when he comes over to my place, it's like he's walking to the cemetery because it's so quiet and it's a bit weird.
Oh, it's not, Nina.
That's exactly when people come over, it's okay. When people come over, I'll often have someone say, oh, put some music on. And then if I choose the music, they won't like it. So then they have to choose. And it's just become such a nightmare for me. So
just put it on like the easiest listening channel, VH1, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, but then I have friends who'll come over and they don't like VH1 because it's too old school and they want MTV or they want something. And I'm just like, guys, I don't care. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. Put whatever.
You're not there for the music.
Noise. If you need the noise, put it on.
You like silence because, I mean, you know, I'm quite extrovert, as you both know, and you know, when you're talking, I can't stop. But people actually confuse that. You know, they think that they can't sit in silence with me, and actually the opposite is true. My best friend at school, I remember we used to go home together on the bus and just sit next to each other in silence, and it was totally comfortable. Honestly, just not, you know, I don't know. I think I'm probably one of the weirdest people that you ever seen. I can be monastic.
I was a completely little emo kid, but my first love, when we never dated, but you know, when your first love ghosts you, ghosting, that's a great word. I listened to Creep by Radiohead, I think about 1,000 times. And whenever I hear that song, it takes me back to that place and that feeling and that time, which is, you know, I don't know, it's kind of nice and heartwarming.
Yeah, so it doesn't bring back feelings of heartbreak. Like, it brings up feelings of nostalgia.
The person I was back then, it doesn't bring back those feelings, because you know how it is when you like someone and you have a crush and all of that. It's much bigger than it actually is. But yeah, it brings me back to that time and the person I was at that time.
Yeah, and also when we're teenagers as well, you know, emotions are that much heightened and we're so idealistic, and then obviously, you know, the person that we like is the one, you know, and there's no one else that does it like that, you know.
Yeah,
like that person. Yeah, I see what you mean there. I'm trying to think if there's a song like that for me.
Oh no, see, for someone who doesn't like music that much, I have loads. Alanis Morissette, the Ironic song, I used to listen to it back that time. What else? Green Day's Basket Case takes me all the way back to the beginning of high school. Like there's
did you say, I mean, would other kids also be into that music as well? Was that kind of the popular thing to listen to in South Africa?
I think it was, yes, and we had quite a big homegrown music scene at that time too. So there was a lot of, I think it was the time for that pop rock, punk, emo kids, scene kids, because it sort of went from grunge in the 90s and it evolved to that sort of punk rock, pop rock scene in the early 2000s.
The mainstream.
Yeah, and then it evolved into Eminem, your hip hop, your Rihanna's, all of that came in the late 2000s, your Beyonce's, your Jay-Z's, and it's now evolved to Lil Wayne and God knows what else.
I remember now my first emo album. It was the Linkin Park. I'm getting confused with LinkedIn now. I'm calling it LinkedIn Park. Linkin Park, and I suppose it was quite a mainstream sound, but the lyrics were very deep, and then back then we didn't have YouTube or the internet to look up the lyrics, and then I'd get excited when you get it in the album covers and then you could just follow it like that, but guys, I think we're coming towards the end of our time here. So thank you so much for joining us in this conversation, watching. We'd love to hear your comments about this really, really interesting subject. How does music move you? How does it not move you? Let us know. Comment or email us at belartattractions@gmail.com or belgradeartnews@gmail.com.
Also, if you have any Serbian rock bands that you can recommend for me, please do so in the comments. Please, I'm looking for some new...
Have some from the 80s and 90s for you. I'll comment down. Yay. So please subscribe, like, share, comment, send us emails. We love ya. And join us next Sunday for a Funday Sunday chat and coffee. See you there. I've been your host, Boyana.
I'm Nella. This is my mug.
And Blue Gloves, our director. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.